This is our presentation, Cloud Computing PBA Problem-Based Assignment. And our groups consists of three members, which is me, Kong Xiao Yan. Second is Jeremy Adam. Third member is Nur Fatin Emily binti Muhammad Zulkifli. Good morning, sir. Today I will be presenting our assignment on cloud computing. Cloud computing is an important technology used by many organizations today because it allows users to access services like server, storage, and application throughout the internet instead of using physical hardware. Because of this, it is more flexible, scalable, cost efficiency compared to the traditional system. One of the key technology behind cloud computing is virtualization. Virtualization allows multiple virtual machines to run on a single physical system, which is help to improve resource usage and make the system manage easier. At the same time, security is a major concern in cloud computing. Organizations need to protect their data from risks such as data breach, unauthorized access, and cyber attacks. Both the cloud provider and the user share the responsibility in maintaining security. In addition, cloud computing offers advanced features such as auto-scaling, load balancing, and redundancy. These features are important because they help maintain system performance, especially during high traffic situations. In this presentation, we will discuss virtualization, cloud security, and advanced cloud features based on the given scenario. So this part is overview. It consists of question 1, virtual machine vs containers. Question 2, security in cloud migration. The third question is scaling and auto scaling.
So, good evening. I am Jeremy Adam, and now I will be presenting for question 1, A and B. So, first, how a cloud provider choose between VM and container. So, first, we need to see what exactly is virtual machine and containers. So, virtual machines has full OS per VM. So that means uh, the physical computer or PC has only one OS, but one PC can have many VM, and each individual VM can have many OS. I mean, each VM has its own OS. So we use hypervisor. There are two types, which is bare metal and hosted. So second, there is strong isolation, which gives highest security. So later I will show you a picture of it, how it looks visually. Third, slower startup. So it takes minutes for virtual machine to start up, and it's usually best for legacy systems, enterprise apps needing specific OS, or high security requirements. Containers, however, share host OS kernel. It is lightweight and usually startups quite quickly compared to virtual machines. It has less isolation and is typically best for microservices, DevOps, or any web apps or rapid scaling needs. So these are the pictures between virtual machine architecture and container architecture to give you a easy visualization of what it looks like. So for security, as you can see, there are many guest OS per libraries per app. So which gives individual security. Container, however, shares one container engine. So now let's compare between virtual machine and container. So in the aspect of startup time, like I said, virtual machine takes minutes, while container can take just a few seconds. For overhead, it uses high or full OS, while container uses low shared kernel. For speed, however, virtual machine is typically a bit slower than container, while for use case it is heavy, stable workloads for virtual machine, and it has fast deployment or high responsiveness for container. So in the question of resource management, in aspect of efficiency, virtual machine has lower but dedicated per virtual machine. And for utilization, however, it can be underutilized. So it is quite hard to quite hard to use it to its full um, what you call it the full cost of it. So density, it has fewer purpose. Container, however, has higher shared host resource. It is optimized and can use by many purpose.
So my name is Emily. I'm in charge of doing question two. Question two, we have two part, which is part A and part B. So firstly, I will be explaining my answer for question 2A. The question is to demonstrate what security measures would we put in place before, during, and after the migration to ensure the safety of sensitive information. So, firstly, I would like to explain for the before the security measures before the migration. So first, I think, in my opinion, we have to validate the purpose of the migration before assessing risks such as vendor lock-in and potential costs. Next is, I think that we should encrypt all sensitive data to prevent unauthorized access to the data, and also to avoid any potential data breaches. The third point is, I think that skilled teams should be established to manage the migration effectively, and also to handle decision making regarding suitable cloud models, whether to use IaaS, PaaS, or hybrid. Lastly, we have, I think that Mm, proper access control should be implemented using identity and access management, for short IAM. So we apply the principle of privilege use, least privilege to ensure that users only have the necessary permissions of the data. So next we have during the migration. So while during the migration, I feel like, uh, in my opinion, secure data transfer methods such as VPNs or encryption protocols should be used to protect the data while they are in transit. Second point is to monitor the migration activities using the appropriate tools to detect and to be cautious of any suspicious behavior. Third is to maintain backups, because maintaining backups is actually essential to ensure that data can be recovered quickly in case any unexpected accident happen. Fourth is security group should be configured to control inbound and the outbound traffic of the data. Lastly, uh, the organization should set permissions and rules to who can access what. So only authorized users have access during the migration process to reduce security risk. So for after the migration, uh, firstly we have to verify that all data from the previous infrastructure has been completely and securely deleted, and then the security, like I said before, security audits and testing should be conducted regu- regularly. And the third point is continuous monitoring and logging should also be implemented to detect potential security threats and to ensure ongoing system protection so that the protection doesn't die down only one time after solving previous threats. Lastly, we have uh, the second last point is that we have backups should be uh, ensured regularly, like just like audits and testing, so that we could keep on improving the system's security. And lastly, we have test recovery procedures to ensure the system is prepared for any unexpected incident for to handle on hand, how to face a new vulnerability or any sort of unexpected thing lah. So I think that's it for question 2A. I will proceed to question 2B. So for question 2B, the question is to discuss strategies such as encryption, access control, and compliance with security standards. So first, I will be explaining about the encryption and then followed by access control and also the security standards. So for encryption, encryption is used to protect data from any unauthorized access by converting it into an unreadable format like ciphertext. Uh, and then encryption also uses secure key management system for short KMS to control access to encryption keys, ensuring that only authorized users can decrypt the data. Second one is access control. So access control is implemented using identity and access management for short IM to manage user identities, roles, and permissions. As I said before, the organization had to assign what roles and the permissions of those roles. So who can access this, who can access that of some sort. So the second point is this the organization should, as I said before, assign appropriate access rights to users based on their responsibilities by applying the principle of least privilege. And lastly, we have multi-factor authentication, for short MFH, is used to add an extra layer of security by requiring users to verify their identity using more than one method, such as we have OTP, we have uh, key in our passwords, and then we have like facial recognition or some sort of advanced security. So lastly, the third one is security standards. So I feel like the system has to comply to security standards such as ISO 27001, GDPR, and other regulations so that it could ensure the organization follows best practices and legal requirements for their data protection. Uh, Lastly, uh, the company or the organization should conduct regular audits and monitoring to maintain the compliance and to identify potential security gaps of between their current security and the standard security. So that's it for my part. I will pass on to Xiaoyan.
My name is Kong Xiaoyan. I will present question 3S, Scaling and Cloud Features. For question 3A, cloud computing help businesses to scale their operation efficiently by providing flexible and on-demand resources, especially when there are sudden increase in user traffic. In cloud computing, um, Organizations do not rely on a fixed physical hardware. Instead, they can use on-demand resources, which means they can increase or decrease system capacity based on current user demand. This is very important during peak periods, such as we can know promotional events or sale seasons where user traffic can increase suddenly. Cloud computing ensure that the system can still perform smoothly even when there is a sudden spike in traffic. There are several key cloud features that I can find that can help to handle the traffic spike. The first feature is load balancing. Load balancing works by distributing incoming user traffic across multiple servers so that no single server becomes overloaded. For example, in an e-commerce platform, during a flash sale, many users may access the website at the same time. Load balancing ensures that all requests are shared evenly so the system remains stable and does not crash. The second features uh, that I can say is auto scaling. Auto scaling is automatically adds or remove resources based on demand. When traffic increase, the system adds more server or increase capacity. When traffic decrease, it reduce resources to save the cost. So this ensure that the system will always has enough capacity without wasting resources. The next feature is the charging. Charging, from what I know, it stores frequently accessed data closer to the user. This helps reduce loading time and decrease the workloads on the main server, especially during the high traffic periods. Finally, there is redundancy. Redundancy means having backup systems or duplicate server. If one server fails, another server can take over so the system continues to operate without interruption. I think this is very important during the peak periods to avoid service downtime. So, to conclude, cloud computing enables businesses to handle traffic spike effectively by using features such as load balancing, auto scaling, charging, and redundancy that I mentioned before. These features improve performance and ensure high availability and provide a smooth user experience even when the demands change rapidly. Next, I will present question 3B, auto-scaling and advantages. For question 3B, I will explain how auto-scaling works in the cloud and its advantages for businesses with fluctuating demand. Auto-scaling is basically a features in cloud computing that allow the system to automatically adjust its resources depending on the current workload. So instead of someone manually adding or removing the server, the system can do it by itself. This is very useful for businesses where the number of users is always changing. To understand how it works, auto-scaling will first continuously monitor the system performance. For example, it looks at things like CPU usage, memory usage, and how many users are accessing the system at that time. When the system that demand is increasing, it will automatically add more resources to maintain the performance. This can happen in two ways. First one is scale out, where the system add more server or instance. Second is scale up. Just now is scale out, This one is scale up, where it increases the capacity of the existing servers such as adding more CPU or memory. On the other hand, when the demand start to decrease, the system will reduce the resources. This can also happen in two ways. Scale in. First is scale in, which means removing extra server, and scale down, which means reducing the capacity of the server. So it has two ways. First is scale in, the second is scale down in this part. So overall, auto scaling ensure that the system always has just the right amount of the resources, not too much and not too little. For example, during a sudden traffic spike like an e-commerce flash sale, many users can access the website at the same time. In these situations, auto-scaling will automatically increase the number of servers to handle the high traffic, and keep the system running smoothly. After the sales end and the number of the user drop, the system will reduce the number of the server again, so the company does not waste money on unused resources. Now, in terms of advantage, auto scaling gives several important benefits to businesses. First, it improves performance because the system can handle high traffic without slowing down. Second, it ensures high availability, meaning the system remains accessible even during peak usage or if parts of the system fail. Third, it provides cost efficiency because the businesses only pay for the resources they actually use instead of over provisioning. And lastly, it support automation, which reduce the needs for manual works and allows the IT teams to focus on more important tasks. In conclusion, auto scaling is an important cloud features that automatically adjust resources based on the demand. It helps businesses to maintain good performance, reduce costs, and ensure reliability service, especially in situations where demand is constantly changing. In conclusion, cloud computing provides important solutions for modern organizations. From this assignment, we can see that technology like virtualization, security, and advanced cloud features play a key role in improving system performance and efficiency. For example, virtual machine and containers each have their own advantage depending on the type workloads they have. At the same time, security measures such as encryption and access control are really important to protect data and prevent unauthorized access. In addition, cloud features like load balancing, redundancy, and auto scaling help businesses to manage high traffic more efficiently. This feature ensure that the system remains stable, available, and performs well even during peak demand. Overall, cloud computing allows organizations to operate in a more flexible way, secure and cost efficiency. This especially really important in today's environment where the businesses needs to respond quickly to changing demand. Thank you so much for listening. This is all our presentation today. Thank you.